So here we are. Let's do a little pump upgrade on something a little different today. This is the Macan S system, and the kit's been on it since 3 of 21, so as preventive maintenance, let's go ahead and put a new pump. See, this system here on this vehicle, the tank is over here to the right, and the pump is under the spare tire cover, and it's kind of clean and hidden away. So let's go ahead and take the cover off, the inner liner out. Gotta get a grocery getter, the best kind. And then down here is the old pump. So what we're going to do with this old pump, we're going to take it off today, and we're going to swap it out for the newer style. So one of the questions on this car that comes to play is, where is the filter for that upgrade and change? And that's something that I have to address on it, so that way now I can move things to where they can be, you know, needed and used, etc. If I'm correct on this car, the filter was located behind an access panel that's to the right. And it's right in here. So the next move here is we're going to take that filter off and leave it actually there. We'll add the switch to it, and then I'll run the extension cable from this switch and from this filter and switch that's going to be put in here. I'll run it down around the back and to the pump, and I'll start on that process now. So my first step in doing all of this stuff is really, this tank is already pretty empty, but I'm going to go ahead and then up front on the vehicle, pull the hose, disconnect it, and then use the test button for draining the system. So got the engine cover off. I have to disconnect the hose from the intake here, and that's going to require, on this one, usually it's a 7/16 and 9/16 wrench. I'm just, this one calls for a 1/2 inch because the adapter is a little bit bigger because it was stainless, and 9/16 wrench. I have gloves on because I don't want alcohol or methanol seeping into my skin. And here goes, I'm going to put a rag here underneath it, so if any little seepage comes out, I'll simply capture it. Pretty straightforward. A little alcohol drips out, that's okay. I can leave this end now disconnected. The next move here is going to be draining the kit, and that'll be following up. Moving forward, I'm going to use our test kit, which makes my life a little simpler for draining and lets me do this thing remotely because I'm working by myself and don't have a helper today. So the next move is I'm just going to put the little inline coupler, like described before on the other videos, for when the pump is changed, and I'm going to connect it to the existing hose, and I just have a little container here. I just put the hose in here. I'm going to tighten this up here to create no leaks from it, and simply snug these real soft. It's not very much, there's not going to be any pressure on it currently. My next move is get the tester that we have with a long extension cable, and then this is going to go plugged into the controller that's under the dash, so that way I can operate the system and basically blow out any liquid that's in the pump lines or stuff like that going forward. Let me continue on as soon as the tester is connected. So to hook up the tester, we simply have to find the Cat 5 plug on the kit, plug in, unplug the one going to the test box, and this is the one that goes to the main controller, and simply plug into this. Once I plug into this, we now have power and I can operate. You can hear the pump back there. Let me take this to the front of the vehicle and watch it drain whatever it's got left. Okay, So now I have a way of operating the kit, because I have a long cable all the way up front. So we'll blow out. Tank was pretty dry, but I'm going to try to get out as much as I can anyway. Well, good. Less work, less alcohol to waste. I'm happy there. Stop hitting the button. Turn this off. Once this is off, I can leave it up here. So after I change the pump out, now I can go ahead and bleed the kit as well. Let me go ahead and turn the key off to kill power to the system, and then let's go to the back and start changing the pump out. So to pull the pump on this car, simply there are two hoses, one here, one there. There's a 3/4 inch that goes on the inlet, and then this is the black hose that comes from the tank. There's a 9/16 hose here, which is then the -4. There's the 3-pin electrical plug here, and to gain a little access and make my life a little simpler, I'm just going to take off the torque screws to get rid of, move the subwoofer out of the way, and that'll allow me getting access in here. Up here where the filter is, I'm simply going to cut the zip ties on it. These off to allow access so I can take it down, and then that'll allow to do that. So let me start on, I'll pull the filter off first. I'll start there, and then I'll go ahead, pull this little subwoofer box out, and then start taking the pump off. Pretty straightforward, simple stuff. As always, when taking off fittings that might have alcohol in them, I like keeping a little rag just to keep things, just in case any little leaks or stuff like that, they don't create a problem. Filter had a little bit in it, and let's go ahead and pull it off the other one. Sorry, gonna need 2 hands for this one. All right, took off the Torx. Subwoofer is out. Filter is now out of the way. So I got to get the inline filter and take off the end cap off of it. I'm going to go to the vise and do that so I can install the pressure switch. And then on the pump itself, pull these hoses. There's a couple of grounds here already. One of the grounds is for the old pressure switch on the pump, and the other ground is for the tank, because the tank needed one for the float switch letting you know it's low. Again, when pulling hoses off, it's always a good practice just to keep a rag underneath them. There's that. A little bit of liquid, not very much. That's the good thing about having the ability to drain it up front, is it mitigates any extra amount of fluid that might be coming out. And the other hose, I already loosened it up with a wrench. Good, no liquids there. Now we have the electrical connector. Unplug that. And last one is the bracket for the mounting. I need to get behind here to take that bracket off, because that's how this pump is held down. So I simply removed this panel. It was 2 10mm plastic nuts, and it popped straight up. And here's the pump with the bracket. So the bracket basically hangs off a bracket I made to hang this pump. So this bracket here will then get transferred to the new pump that'll get installed. So I'm going to start on that process right now. Let me get the bracket transferred over, get the fittings off of this pump and transferred over. It's also important to note, it's always good to look at fittings like these, like if the tape's white or gray, if there's any leaks or things like that of that nature, you'll see that they turn gray and change colors. I think the filter probably was a little bit. You see, like it turned a little yellowy. So we'll fix that now. I'll take the filter completely apart, retape it, and then that should be fine. Let me continue on. So the transferring of the bracket is pretty simple. 2 Phillips screws over here, and I'm going to use these same Phillips. They're the same threads on the old pump as the new pump, so that won't change. The only thing that sometimes may create a little bit of a problem is the spacing between these 2 screws and these 2. Sometimes there's just a tad little hair off, and I might have to, re-drill the bracket out a little bit for that purpose. I'll see when I get there. Fittings transfer the same, and let me continue on. Well, got lucky. The holes lined up perfectly. So it was an easy bracket transfer from one to the other. Now let me work on the fittings. One thing also to note is just it's nice when you have a picture for orientation. That way when I put the new fittings on, this one points up and the other one points down. That way when the hoses are attached, it makes life simpler and less things to figure out when working on the vehicle. So I wrap each one of these times 3. The adapter already came wrapped. Pump fittings, I wrap them up 3 times. I put a little paste and a little paste on the pressure switch. Now I'll go ahead and thread things in by hand and tighten them a little bit, and away I go. So item to note here, these fittings that are on the head of the pump are hand tightened only. Understand that this is a brass fitting going into a plastic housing. If you start putting a wrench and turning them, what will eventually happen is, because they're tapered threads, you'll crack the housing. So this is one of those steps that technically less is more. You'll see that the paste has come out of the threads a little bit, so I just basically get a napkin, wipe them down, and away I go. Same thing on the pressure switch. There's a little bit of paste coming out of it, so I'll just, as soon as I tighten the switch a little more, make sure that it's nice and sealed, then I'll just go ahead and wipe that so I don't make a little mess if somebody touches that part with the paste. So here's the filter with the added switch now mounted where it goes. Notice that the switch goes on the outlet of the filter, so it responds to whatever happens at the nozzle. Since this cable is only 2 foot long and it ain't going to reach the pump, I'm putting an extension harness that we make for 5 feet, and I just put a little zip tie just to keep them together. I mean, if this were to unplug, it's not catastrophic where the system stops responding. The only thing that'll happen is, because the switch is unplugged, then the light that's on top of the dash will simply no longer change red to green. So I'm going to go ahead and run this cable down along with the pump cable back up to the pump, and let's get that installed. So here is the new pump in place. I still got to tighten the hoses and fittings, but I plugged in the electrical. I already have my ground wire ready from the new pump, so I can go basically here ground where the subwoofer mounts to. That seems to be a nice little simple spot without having to drill additional holes into the car. And then the wiring for the switch basically is run behind the panel, and it goes up to the pressure switch up there. So as soon as I mount this, I'll take some of the slack out. I'll wrap the wire up to make it nice and clean. And I think it's time right now simply to go ahead, tighten fittings, and let's put this thing under test and make sure that we have no leaks before I put the subwoofer and all the other stuff back down in it. So next up will be tightening fittings and filling up the tank. All right, liquid's in the tank. It's up to here. I wanted to add a little thing. This on top on these tanks, that's the breather. These are sealed caps, so that way there's no fumes inside the cockpit. This line here basically goes into the back, and on this car, we basically got the breather right here out the tail panel behind the bumper cover, which is a good place. So if it's going to stink up, let it be outside, not where I can smell it inside the vehicle. Liquid's in the tank, pump's connected, hoses are so far no leaks, everything seems to be copacetic. Next move here is, let me turn the key on and let's run the system up front to bleed the air out. So I just turned the key on. We're going to apply power. Now notice that when I first connect this hose and what comes out, it's going to pulse because there's air. Oh. Voila. And when it starts running completely steady like this, I can go ahead and shut it off. Next move here, right now it's bled. It blew all the air out and it started being a straight line. Now I'm going to steady stream. Now I'm going to connect the gauge to it and run the system under pressure to make sure I have no leaks and that the air is really out. Now I'm going to run the tester and sweep it up and watch the system make some pressure. So usually in the way this kit was set up, I'm getting about 150 pounds out of it, and the needle is a little bit of fluctuation, but that's not bad. But I also had this kit activating at around 13 pounds of boost. So we got it. It builds pressure. Now let's go to the back of the car, check all the fittings since they've been put under pressure, make sure that they're nice and dry. Here's the back of the pump, making sure all the fittings are dry. This is dry. Filter's dry. All my fittings are dry. So I think this is successful. I think right now the system's been tested. It's been bled. Use some alcohol in getting it bled and stuff like that, but I can pour that back into it. And the rest that's left here is just to tidy up wiring and reassemble the car. Not too bad. So here she is. Subwoofer's back on. Back panel's back on. Rubber trim for the seal for the hatch is back on. Wires run to the pump. A couple little zip ties. The whole thing's in place. It's not going anywhere anyway. And let me go ahead and reassemble the rest of the car and put the dash underneath the dash back together again, and let's go for a road test. So under the hood, here's the gauge and stuff. We'll loosen it up, disconnect the hose from here. Got liquid on it. Good to have gloves. That's primarily the reason for it. A little bit runs out of here. I can go ahead and move the tester out of the way and reconnect the nozzle down here to the injection point under this coupler. And it just needs to be tightened. And I need to get this alcohol that we poured out, put it back into the tank. Waste not. All right. There it is. Hard to do this with one hand, but I'll try. Here, let me put the phone down, get this thing done properly. Nozzle reconnected. I wanted to add, this is how the end of a brass hose looks like after 2 years. This kit was put on in March of 2000 and actually March of 21. So we're going on 2 years and a month now. End of February, early March. Boost line on this car was tied in off of this hose that goes here for reference purposes. And that's where I get my plastic line that goes to my 2.5 bar map sensor. Anyway, that's where I teed off a boost for the 2.5 bar that came with the kit. So there is the LED that goes red to green once the system builds pressure. So let's test this car out.